Welcome to our videos previewing our panels at our 2024 Qui Tam conference, The Government and the Modern FCA Practice. I'm Scott Oswald, Programming Chair of the Federal Bar Association Qui Tam section. Joining me today is Eva Gunasekera, partner at the law firm of Tycko Zavareei, with a preview of her panel that she's moderating, Insider Competitor Analyst Doe, Who's Your Whistleblower? Eva, tell us a little bit about your panel and your speakers.
Hi, Scott. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I am excited to be moderating a panel about who is a qualified False Claims Act relator with some esteemed persons in our space. I will be speaking with a senior leader at the Department of Justice in the very branch or division that has primary responsibility for enforcing the False Claims Act, the Civil Fraud Division. I will be joined by Assistant Director Ed Crook. Ed actually started around the same time that I did when I practiced at the Department of Justice. So I've known Mr. Crook for a long time. He'll provide fantastic insight about who is a qualified False Claims Act relator in this context. I'll also be joined by Relators Counsel Michael Ronacher, who is at Constantine Cannon, and he has been practicing in our space for quite some time as well, is very well versed in representing relators and otherwise vetting different persons as to whether or not they could be a relator. And then finally, and importantly, we'll also hear from a member of our defense bar, Sarah Brinkman, who will be joining us as a partner from King & Spalding. We're excited to have Sarah join this discussion and provide her perspective about the defense perspective.
So if I'm an audience member and I'm at your panel, give me a few kind of takeaways that I can expect from your panel.
Sure. I think notably, we are going to touch on what is a traditional relator. I think it's important for new and experienced practitioners in our space to understand the nuances that impact former employees versus current employees. I'm still learning about different issues that confront former versus current employees of the named defendant in the False Claims Act suit. But we're also going to spend quite a bit of time talking about unconventional relators. So these include named parties like competitors. It can include customers. It can include patients. It can include clients of the named defendant. It can also include third-party vendors or consultants who have been retained by the defendant to act in a certain capacity and come to learn about the defendant's practices in the course of that work. And it can also include industry experts. We're seeing more and more experts in the field who are taking the data that is now publicly available and really mining that data and otherwise being able to analyze that data in a way that the Department of Justice may not have the capability or means to do in the moment. And so we're going to have, a discussion of all the different types of relators. We're also going to talk about who can qualify as a relator, thinking about, legal issues that one may have to confront, known as first to file, public disclosure, and anonymity. We're still seeing in our space DOE relators, and I want to have a discussion with our panelists about what that means and what the implications and consequences of a DOE relator may be. So really at a high level, that's going to be, kind of takeaway number one. What is or who is a qualified False Claims Act relator? But then we're also going to get into, some more practical discussions about what it means to be those kinds of relators when you file the case, what the government is thinking when they see a case from that type of a relator, how that type of case is investigated, and then ultimately what comes of a resolution in those cases.
Eva, that sounds just terrific, and thank you. We look forward to seeing each of you at the FBA Qui Tam Section's 2024 Annual Conference, The Government and the Modern FCA Practice, February 21st through 23rd, 2024. Register now at www.fedbar.org.